I'm shocked that most sales programs are afraid to make promises because they don't believe their method will hold up. They offer motivation without methodology. They give you templates without transformation. But we're different. We guarantee results because we know this. We know that our method works. No other program will put their money on the line when it comes to your results. But I will. See, the first thing is we leverage all of my experience and the success of hundreds of people across nearly every industry that you can name using the Martinelli Sales Method. This isn't theory. I'm not teaching you, some mythology or theology. This is tested, it's proven, and it's built on decades of data, and it's engineered to work across every single industry, all price points, and every personality type. Let me show you the 3 key factors why the Martinelli Sales Method works when others fall flat. First, in our method, it's built on brain science, real science, not sales tricks. I built this method working with the brightest minds in the world. I had the privilege of working with Dr. Daniel Amen, Dr. Joseph McClendon, Dr. Robert Cialdini. These are giants in the field of neuroscience, behavioral psychology, and influence. What I developed wasn't a system based on hype or hard closes. It was built on how the brain actually learns, how people make decisions, and how belief systems shape and motivate behavior. We don't just teach the what, we show you how to access your own ability, the resources you already have within you. If you've ever made one sale, then you know you already have the ability to do it. You already have those resources within you. You just haven't learned yet how to access those resources on demand when it really matters. That one win that you've had in the past is proof. See, our method helps you replicate that success consistently by teaching you how to activate your own belief and access peak states of performance at will. We don't only build skills, we remove the blocks that keep your skills from surfacing. See, the Martinelli Sales Method has been tested in nearly every single industry that you can name: real estate, insurance, software as a service, consulting, coaching, automotive, medical devices, you name it. The method is content agnostic because it doesn't rely on what you're selling. The process works no matter what the product is. And even more than that, we also help you shape who you are when you sell. See, that's why it works with introverts, extroverts, seasoned sales professionals, and beginners alike. It creates transformation that sticks. Traditional sales training wears off because it's external. The Martinelli Sales Method works because it rewires your neural network, the internal workings of what drives your own behavior. See, you don't just memorize techniques, you embody the principles. And that's the difference between a spike in results every once in a while and sustained breakthrough and change. I remember working with a sales team in a regional bank. They were struggling to close high-ticket private wealth clients. They'd been through all the corporate training, they knew their pitch, but they weren't landing deals. In one session, we didn't change a single word of their script. We changed their internal posture, their internal state. We taught them how to lead the conversation, not follow it, how to establish themselves as an authority. In less than 60 days, they doubled their close rate without any new sales tactics or any sales tricks. Now look, before I go on, I want to offer you a taster course, just a mini version of the Martinelli Sales Method where I teach you the exact strategy I use for overcoming the top 5 problems every sales pro faces. Just click on the link in the description to get access. Test out the techniques. I guarantee that they will help you close more deals. Click for access right now, and then I want you to come back. Okay, here's the second key factor about why our method works when other programs fall flat. See, we equip you and we train you to understand the buyer's internal blueprint, their map of the world. Every single person has a map of the world. They have an agenda, and we show you how to read the room and then respond to their needs that bring you right to the forefront of the solution. See, salespeople are taught to pitch, but rarely taught to perceive. They're taught to pitch, but not perceive. They're not taught to develop their intuition. See, the Martinelli Sales Method teaches you how to read and respond the emotional drivers of a buyer. We train you to listen beneath the surface, to calibrate your tone, to match their energy, not just their words. This isn't just simple neuro-linguistic programming mirroring. See, when you know what motivates your prospect, you don't need to pressure them. All you need to do is guide them to the logical conclusion. We integrate tools that others won't even mention: hypnosis, behavior profiling. Now, I don't mean stage hypnosis. I mean the ability to use auto-suggestion and language patterns that speak directly to a person's subconscious mind. We pair the very best with this personality training, neurolinguistic programming, emotional intelligence principles to help you map out the prospect's internal world. What's their motivating driver? See, sales becomes about alignment, not about convincing. Most resistance that you face is emotional. It's not logical. You're not going to overcome with more data points an emotional decision. Logic won't solve that. When someone says, I need to think about it, they don't need more information. They need more emotional certainty. The Martinelli Sales Method teaches you to create that safety through your presence, your silence, your certainty, and your congruence. Sales should never be about pressure. It's positioning yourself as the expert, as the authority, about you being present to meet your prospect where they are. That's why I say you're not selling, you're holding space for a decision. When the buyer feels emotionally seen, they feel safe to make the right choice, which is buying your product or service. That's why you're there. That's why they've even given you the meeting in the first place. In one session with a group of financial advisors, I showed them how to use a single silence tool, just a process to stay silent right before asking the price question. And before you know it, one of them told me, "Paul, I've never felt more in control of a conversation without ever saying a word." And isn't that what it's about? You having control. See, that advisor went on to close one of the largest accounts of his career without adding a single new line to the script, just silence. See, the third key factor that sets our system apart is we dismantle the invisible beliefs that sabotage sales. We break the beliefs that break sales. Most salespeople know how to sell, but they don't believe that they deserve the win. They actually sabotage themselves. You've heard me say, we don't outperform our own self-belief. Now that sounds harsh, but it's true. If you were raised hearing that, money is the root of all evil, or that rich people are greedy, those beliefs are still running in the background of your behavior. You don't need more training. You need a belief breakthrough. And our program surfaces those subconscious, invisible boundaries, those beliefs, and we reframe them and replace them with a new standard of identity. We don't just ask you to believe in the method, we teach you how to believe in yourself. See, when your self-concept shifts, your results follow. You'll never outperform your own self-concept, your own self-belief, and your own self-worth. That's not motivational fluff. It's neuroscience. And sales success isn't just a skill set. It's a state of being. This is why average performers plateau. They've reached the edge of what their subconscious will allow them to create for their lives. Our method helps you break that invisible boundary so you can move from average to aligned and then to unstoppable. See, sales becomes sacred when it reflects your wholeness, your beliefs, not just your hustle. See, that's why we guarantee results, because this isn't just about technique. It's about transforming the person using the technique. Now look, if you haven't gotten access to the Martinelli Sales Method mini course, now's the time. Inside, I walk you through the most common and costly sales mistakes, and I give you the exact tools to shift them: how to follow up without fear, how to close with confidence, how to resolve objections even before they arise. If you're serious about applying this, click the link in the description to get the course and then jump right back to the next video. The best cold calling opening lines. This is where I'm going to give you the exact lines to use and the steps to follow to successfully cold call all of your next prospects. You'll be able to take this and create tangible results, measurable results, using the exact same techniques that I've used for 3 decades. I'll see you in the next video.